on the strategy that we have defined, based on the document value and the document type, system will assign the relevant strategy. So when we select the document type that we created, even for this, I need to first define the output type. Select these things and communication, select the standard communication type. Then when I click on check, the system will change the approval strategy. So again, this is based on the value of the document and the document type, right? So let's say I just enter 150, it shows me this much value. When I give less than 30,000, it should be purchase executive. And if I give greater than 30,000, it should be the purchase manager who's the final approval. So as defined in this release strategies, release procedure, the system will show me the appropriate approval level. Right? So this is how the release procedure is going to work. Once the release strategy is assigned, you need to go to ME29N to approve the document. So go to ME29N. Once the approval process starts, the document will not be allowed to be changed. As you can see here, it goes into display mode. And once the status shows release completed, that is when the system will understand the document is approved and it will allow the further activities to take place. But until the document shows release completed, usually the system will not allow any further activities to be carried out in the real time. But for this particular server, the practice server, since the release procedure is not made mandatory, I can carry out the other activities for the purchase order in this server. That's also possible because this is for a practice server. So once the document is approved, you can send it to the vendor as defined in the output type. So now when I check the document status, it will show me that the document is sent. Right, so this is how the list procedure is created for a purchase order type of document. So in this way, the strategies are going to define who approves which document at what level based on what criteria. So the next one that we're going to talk about is the text types and copying rules. I seem to have been disconnected. Just give me 1 moment. So next step would be define screen layout. Now screen layout is used to specify the field selection for the document. Field selection can be based on transaction code or based on the document type. Transaction code, you just enter the new transaction code, double click on it and specify the field selection. For creating it based on the document type, click on new entries, enter a 1 to 4 character code and a description to identify what is the field selection key. Click on save. Once you have saved it, click on back, double click on that field selection key and maintain the field selection. Over here, go back, there's some programming error over there. In the real time, you will not get that errors because of the programmers being there to help in resolving. In case you get that error, okay. Check this. Just 1 moment. Okay, for some reason this system is not allowing me to create a new field selection key, but this is the way you create a new field selection key. And let's see, let's start it with Okay. It's not a problem with the code. When you create it, then you get this detail. So go to that particular field and make the required entries. Let's say if the document type we created is only for normal purchases, that is domestic purchase, then you don't require any field related to import. So all those fields which are related to import can be deleted from the system, including validity period and warranty date. These are only a few of the selections that I wanted to show you how to do it. Now, when you are creating the field selection, there are only three rows. So if you don't select any of these three, then the default selection is hidden. Okay. So once you maintain it, now I need to assign this field selection key to the document type. So go back to the define document types screen, go to your document type and assign that particular screen selection code. So here I go to the field selection and enter that relevant field selection key and save it. Now when I look at the document type, the fields will be as per my field selection. Okay. Next one would be text types and copying rules for the header text and item text. Header text are those items which are required to maintain the terms and conditions for various documents, common to all the items in the document. And copying rules specify how whether each of these elements, the data maintained in each of these header text types, should they be copied automatically when the purchase order is created with reference to quotation, another purchase order or contract, or whether they should not be copied. And if it is copied, should it be in editable mode or non-editable mode? In most of the cases, the text types that are there, these are the various text types. There are standard 16 text types. Okay. New text types are hardly ever created because most of these text types, they are sufficient for any type of contractual stipulation. So since they are sufficient, more than sufficient, we don't create any new text type. Copying rules also, most of the cases we leave it as it is, but wherever required, if the client says that the text after copying should be in editable mode or for a specific document it should not be adopted, then we go to that particular option and select the relevant code. So to enable that, it is copyable in editable mode or non-editable or not even copyable, right? The last one we talk about tolerance limit for archiving. Archiving is the process wherein any document which is no longer required to be active will be deactivated and put in archive. So when you archive the document, the system will not normally show that document in regular searches. However, in order to use that document, you have to first activate it and then use the document. So archiving is a process carried out for better memory management. So in this, you're going to specify the number of days after which the document should be archived. So when I enter the document type here, I need to specify the item category. So when I create a document type of YBG1 with the item category D, after how many days should the application automatically archive the document, and after archiving, after how many days should the system application automatically delete the document can also be specified. So starting from the date of creation, if the document is not used for a continuous period of 90 days, system will archive it. After archiving for a further 60-day archived period, the system will automatically delete the document from the database itself. So from the date of creation, for any continuous period of 150 days, if the document is not used, then it will be automatically deleted permanently from the database. Whether deletion is required from the database or not will depend on the client process, but most of them, they do require it to be archived. When you archive, the total space or the memory required to store the document will be very much reduced, releasing the additional space for another document. So it's part of your better memory management techniques. So these are the commonly carried out configurations of purchase requisition. Also, you have defined number ranges, document types, release procedure, screen layout, text types, tolerance limit for archiving. Similarly, for RFQ quotation, also you have the same type of configurations carried out. This ends the configuration of purchasing. The next section we're going to talk about inventory management.